Ciao ragazzi, I'm Roberta Pasta Evangelists and today we celebrate Carnevale. We got different gnocchi full of color. Let's start. The ingredient for the colorful gnocchi, so we start with boiled potatoes. Then, in order to create a green gnocchi, you want to steam spinach, which we have steamed and then blended. For the purple, we are going to use beetroot. It is also cooked and blended. And then the orange, we have pumpkin. It's been cooked. And then use a potato ricer to mash all together. You can use also carrot in case you don't find any pumpkin. Then we have a little bit of salt, eggs, and 00 flour. Ragazzi, let's start with the orange gnocchi. I have placed already the potato on, you can use a wooden board. If you have enough space, you can use your kitchen counter, it's absolutely fine. So I have, as I say, already prepared my pumpkin, the potatoes and the flour measured already. What I'm gonna do, guys, let me show you, because on half kilo of gnocchi, you need to use only half of the egg. It is easier if you already prepare your egg. So what I do, I already break one, and then I will simply mix. And then by the time I start to make the gnocchi, I will see how much the dough will need, how much moist it needs, and then I will add the egg. So I keep these aside and then we can start. So I place already the potatoes. Now you can straight away mix with the pumpkin. Be careful when you're using the fresh ingredient, as they contain a lot of water, especially product like pumpkin. So don't add the egg straight away. Just slowly we're gonna see how much moist the gnocchi will need it. Now we can go straight with the flour. Doesn't really matter how you mix this ingredient, as long as you bring all the ingredients together. For the flour, I will just keep probably a couple of tablespoons in case I need when I roll out the gnocchi. So I start to mix all together, guys, and then in a second I will add the egg. As I say, I want to make sure that it is nice and firm before I add extra liquid. So I'm going to add a little bit of egg. Then also a pinch of salt, as I haven't added any salt, just a tiny little bit. And now you can mix all together like you wanted to make a pasta dough. It's exactly the same. It's a little bit messy, but in a second you will see that it's a really nice and orange dough. It's a little bit liquid, so what I'm gonna do, guys, I will continue to add the extra flour that I left. As it's a little bit soft, I will add just a bit more flour. But when you make gnocchi, there is just a secret to share with you. This type of dough doesn't really like to be kneaded for too long. More you continue to knead the potato dough, because it's made with potatoes, more flour will absorb. And during cooking time, you can literally taste too much flour. So once you have formed a dough this way, which I call it a big sausage, you can simply leave it. It's done. So you need a couple of minutes to bring the dough together. Now we can leave it to rest and we can move to the next color. And now guys, I'm going to show you how to make the classic gnocchi. So we are not going to use any extra ingredient and we're going to create this beautiful yellow color. So it's again potatoes. We are going to mix with the flour. Don't worry guys how you spread the flour. You can spread the flour first and then you add the potatoes and the egg. It's absolutely fine. There is not really a rule on how to mix as long as you mix all together. Half of the egg as well. I'm just going to be trying to be very precise. And a pinch of salt. Don't put it too much to just get more taste, but I will expect you to put the salt into the water. Now you mix all together, guys. And you can use a fork, but it's a nice feeling when you do the gnocchi by hand and you need this way. I'm going to add more flour. I can see already that it needs more flour. Remember with the flour, guys, sometimes the gnocchi, they look really, the dough looks too wet and you tempt to add more and more flour. No, just don't do it. Once you have added the right quantity for half kilo of potatoes, just don't add it, leave it aside. As I say, more you work this dough, more flour it will absorb, and then it's not the same, the taste will change once you cook. So we are almost there, very soft. Just need to add a bit more flour. And then we form the long sausage to leave it to rest. Next up, guys, is the green dough. So let me mix the spinach with the potato first, and then we're going to add the flour. And also a little bit of egg. And let's mix. And our next color, guys, is the purple with beetroot. Before I get the beetroot, this time I'm going to add the flour, just because I don't want to stain too much the board. Make sure that you consider, if you're using, I don't know, your kitchen counter is in wood, and just consider that he will stain your kitchen. So I will put the flour first, so he will absorb straight away the beetroot. Not all the flour, as I always do, I just add slowly. And then I'm gonna go for a couple of tablespoons of freshly cooked beetroot. Now we are going to add just a tiny little bit of egg, and we mix all together, guys. Ragazzi, let's start shaping the gnocchi. Have you seen? I create a beautiful Italian flag. So let's start from the orange. We just take a little bit of dough, and now you need extra flour. You need extra flour to shape the gnocchi, because sometimes they can get a little bit too sticky. So we add some extra flour just to shape, yeah? So now I want you to roll a little bit of dough into a long snake. If you think it's too long and you haven't got enough space on your kitchen counter, you can just cut it in half. So if you put flour, it's gonna be just easier for you to roll it. I wanted to do today smaller gnocchi. As you can see, I don't have enough space, so I'm just gonna place this here and continue to roll this one. So I'm gonna make gnocchetti, so they're little gnocchi. There is not really specific rules how big, how large they have to be, the gnocchi. So just feel free to cut it as you wish. And I leave it here. I'm gonna roll this other one out. And then we can start cutting. Just make it easy when you do all the snake first, then you put it together. You place just a tiny little bit of flour, and then simply with a knife, you're going to cut it. Beautiful. Now, if you wanna, you can absolutely leave it this way. It's, again, you don't really have to perfectly shape. If you wanna, you can use your hand and you can do small cicchette. So they are little gnocchi. Takes just a bit more time, but I love it because they are slightly different. They are more pretty to present to your guest. And so on. So all the color that you have prepared, now we're gonna one by one cut it and shaping into small gnocchi. Stay with me. And now we got the green gnocchi. And now, ragazzi, our final color. We have used the beetroot for a nice and pink gnocchi. And we have completed, look at this gorgeous color. You need to carry on until you finish all the dough. Now, we are going to cook straight away. The gnocchi takes really a minute and a half to cook. So as soon as you put in a hot boiling water and they start to float, that's when the gnocchi is ready. Don't overcook, otherwise you don't gonna have really the same experience. You don't gonna taste the nice potatoes. How to pair? What is the best sauce? I love it with sage butter sauce, but you can literally even use fresh tomato and basil, as long you really don't use a very rich sauce, so it will cover a little bit the taste of the veg that we have used to infuse the gnocchi. Guys, it's all ready. You just need to cook your gnocchi and pair it with your favorite sauce. Happy Carnival, ragazzi! Buon Carnevale! Ciao!